Hello and welcome back to Firestorm Games and another episode of the Hobby Table. This time we'll be showing you how to quickly paint the new Nighthaunt miniatures found within the Soul Wars box set. Using just a few simple techniques, you'll be able to get your miniatures onto the tabletop in no time at all. We've started off by priming the miniature using Corax White. The white spray is important as the glazes we'll be applying in later steps will rely on a light coloured surface in order to work. It also makes sense to prime using a spray on white as we can prime a lot of miniatures quickly in one go. The only base coat that we will be applying to this miniature will be to the chains and weaponry. For this we'll be using Leadbelcher. Now Leadbelcher is a base paint, so it should cover nicely over the white, but it is recommended that you mix in a little water and apply a couple of thin coats. Once you've completed this step, make sure that you change out your paint water as you don't want to get metal flakes in your other paints. We want to create a ghostly appearance with our miniature, so our first task involves using Hexwraith Flame. We want to create a gradient which goes from the intense green at the top of the miniature that slowly fades as it reaches the bottom. I would recommend mixing in a small amount of water with your Hexwraith Flame and focus on applying it in several layers. Start at the top and drag the paint down towards the bottom. You should find that the paint thins out as it reaches the lower parts. As you get towards the very ends, only apply the paint into the recessed areas. Repeat this task and you should be left with a gradient from the green at the top of the miniature to the white at the bottom. Next, we want to use Nighthaunt Gloom to add some differentiation between the hood and the rest of the robe. Apply this paint in much the same way as the Hexwraith Flame, except only applying it to the top sections of this miniature. The next task is to apply Nihilakh Oxide over the face and arms. We want these areas to be much paler than the rest of the miniature, so again we want to mix in a little water in order to thin out the paint. The final step in painting our Chainrasp is to add some weathering to the metal areas. The easiest way to do this is to apply Typhus Corrosion over the areas we painted with Leadbelcher. While the Typhus Corrosion is still wet, run your finger over the edges of the metal to remove some of it. This will create a sharp looking edge. And here we have the completed Chainrasp, who you can see I've also based. Whilst I focus on the Chainrasp miniature in this video, with some slight modifications you could easily transfer these techniques to any other Nighthaunt miniatures. You can find all of the paints used in this tutorial listed in the description below, as well as a link to the Firestorm Games web store. From there you'll be able to pick up all of the miniatures and materials used in this video for at least 10% less than the RRP. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do let us know in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to be kept up to date with all of our latest videos. So we just want to say a huge thank you for tuning in and watching this video, and we hope to see you again on Firestorm Games.